I've got that joy, 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 joy down in my
I know.
heart.
Forget Shrek, boy. This is the family feel-good movie of the year. Reservation Road. Take your family on a trip down Reservation Road.
It looks so happy and upbeat.
It looked good to me. I mean, come on. You got 2 kids. Naturally, your life is already hell. So why not just split it in half? Just throw one of the kids in front of an SUV, and your happiness is increased by half.
What did I tell you? This is going to go horribly wrong. It's not even like a second into it.
What's not funny about dead kids?
Look,
is it just me?
I did not see this. You guys had to tell me because this thing, I watched the trailer for this, and this just scared the hell out of me because it looked like the single most depressing film.
Well, wait a
ever
minute.
made.
You saw the trailer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you saw the movie. That's pretty much. When
So
I saw
it
the
was
trailer,
two-
I was like,
it was 2 hours of I killed a
okay,
boy.
no.
What you're missing?
You're thinking like 21 grams of babble.
What you're
Those
missing-
are depressing.
what
movies.
you're missing is-
hold on. Wait.
Sorry. What you're missing is that, yes, this is a real simple story. It is. But it's an incredibly well-told, simple story that really, really, really is an acting film. I mean, you watch these actors just do one of the best jobs they've probably done in their career. Joaquin Phoenix, Jennifer Connelly, Mark Ruffalo, they're just hitting it out of the park, and they're really exploring some serious depths here.
Yeah.
This is one of the most moving films I've seen this year, and for real reasons, not for manipulative ones.
Well, we already made a few jokes, if you couldn't tell. A kid dies in this movie. What you have here is that you got 2 different sets of families. You have Joaquin Phoenix with his wife, Jennifer Connelly, who's fucking hot, boy.
She is,
Always.
man.
When has she not been hot,
but she gets hotter the older she gets,
know,
which
man.
almost never happens.
I beg to differ. I could pull out Labyrinth and.
She's hotter
when she was
she's hotter
13
now.
ye's old.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
anyway,
and I was 10.
Well, anyway, the thing is that so Joaquin Phoenix, they're coming home after his son's recital. They got the little, they had a little daughter with them too. They pull over to a gas station to get some gas, get some snacks. Now, on the other end of town, you have Mark Ruffalo, who's coming home with his son. Mark Ruffalo is a little bit more of a broken family, but he loves his son nevertheless.
He's a decent guy.
He is a decent guy. He has a decent job. He's divorced and he wants to spend a lot of time with his son. He's coming down the same road. One of the kids from Joaquin Phoenix family, he goes into the middle of the street. Mark Ruffalo just happens to lean over for a second.
He doesn't go into the middle of the street.
on the side.
He's on the side.
Thank you.
He's completely in the right.
Yeah, he's
but
on
some other jackass, another car does something weird. Mark Ruffalo has to swerve and ends up running over.
Well, Mark Ruffalo does look down for a second. The kids on the side of the road releasing fireflies. Mark Ruffalo, he reaches down for a second. You have situations that could, on both ends, that could happen to anybody. Unfortunately, the car hits the kid. Now, what happens here from this point on, Mark Ruffalo does not stop. He keeps going because he's scared.
He's panicked.
Yeah.
Anybody would be panicked.
He's panicked because he's got his ex-wife on his ass for not getting his son back to her on time. So he's rushing to try to beat the clock.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he has this accident where he's in the middle of a custody battle. He can't have something like this. It's just one of these things where you panic, and it's any one of us. Everybody would think I would never do that, but until you're in that situation, you don't know.
You know
And
what?
that's what the movie's about too. He watches his whole life fall apart right in front of his eyes, and that split second right before he decides, "Screw it, I'm taking off," with the panic decision. And who's to say you or I wouldn't make that same mistake?
Oh, well, you know what? I'll tell you right off the bat. I asked would have drove.
You would have driven back and hit the rest of the family.
But you'd have hit the horn.
That's what that damn kid gets for being on the sidewalk.
Let me tell you something. I would have been in Mexico getting a face change. I would have said to hell with my kids. Would have said goodbye to my family. Arrivederci. Goodbye, y'all. But let me tell you something, though. This movie, it has 2 big strengths in it, and one is the acting. Everybody in this movie does a great job. Joaquin Phoenix, man, he's one of our best out there.
Man, I mean, talk
year.
about knocking out of the park in 2 movies back to back.
Yeah, and then you have Mark Ruffalo, who I think probably right now this is probably his best work since his first movie that everybody recognized him in.
Well, the thing that makes him amazing in this movie is he's a character that if there's any character that you wouldn't feel sorry for, it's him. He's basically the quote unquote villain of the piece, and yet you can't the more it goes on, the more you really do feel for him.
I think you're wrong about that. There are no villains here. There are no heroes. We have just victims all around. Well, and the thing is, the movie. That's what the other strength of the movie is. It puts you in a position of, okay, everybody wants to be the victim. Everybody wants to say, this happened to me. But it does do a good job of saying, well, what would you do if you were driving that car?
Yeah.
And I just told you what I do. So.
But I got to ask, how depressing is it?
Man, come on. I mean,
it's not one of these movies that is so heavy in depression. It's not. It's more tension. I mean, it is depressing, to think that you could be somebody whose kid was killed that way, where you feel like nobody's helping you because. Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix is so frustrated because he feels like he's getting no help from the cops, and everybody's trying to assure him like, no, the cops are doing everything, and you find out the cops are kind of like, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Well, then it's not.
Sorry,
no, I was just gonna say. See, that's the other thing. I mean, even pushing the position of the cops, it's not that they aren't doing anything. It's like it gets to a point. What can they do?
Well, you're right. It does. It puts you in the cops' position where it's like, where they're even like, these things happen and there's not a whole lot we can do.
By the way, that cop is a character actor, but he did a really good job.
He did.
He was in We
Everybody
on the
did.
Night with Joaquin Phoenix.
Who didn't do a good job in this movie? There was nobody. Even the SUV that hit the kid was like bravuro performance.
Hey, it was on its mark.
It was totally on its mark. But, to answer Carlisle, this isn't one long funeral scene, basically. It really gets into these people and all the different, they're not just sitting there being depressed. They're going through all these different phases of grief in their own way. I mean, the character of Mark Ruffalo, he knows he's going to either get caught or turn himself in. He knows it almost right from the beginning. It's him making peace with that inside himself, trying to figure out how do you do that? He is saying goodbye to his life inside himself. That's not easy, and it really makes you feel like this is something that could happen to you or to anybody.
Well, plus they ratchet up the tension by the fact that, like, as it goes on, at first it's like, oh, I've hit this random kid, and geez, I feel bad about it. Oh, wait, this family knows my ex-wife. Oh, wait, this guy has come to me to be his lawyer to help me find his son's killer.
Another
who is
small
me.
town
It was almost
movie
like
with
Philip
white
K.
people.
Dick for a second.
I'm sorry. What is your question, my child?
How did you guys walk out of this movie? Were you charged up having seen a good movie, or did you guys walk out like kind of down?
Yeah, we peeled out looking for kids to run over.
We just came out of the Fast and the Furious. We're like, whoa!
Because this movie I swear to God, it intimidates the hell out of me. It's scaring me because I don't.
It's not one of those.
Not.
Trust me, it's not one.
Carla,
of those.
let me say this to you. I am more scared of going to see Saw 4 than I am of seeing this movie.
I just because it reminds me of films like House of Sand and Fog.
Well, it did remind me of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where you watch it and it's like it's a really good movie, but you feel like slitting your wrist for 2 hours after.
Yeah, but
having
House of
watched
Sand
it.
and Fog was brilliant, and I'm really glad I saw it. I would compare it to this to a certain level. But at the end, it's not one of those like, oh God, how depressing is that ending? The most depressing part is in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
And the
You're
ending,
exactly right.
in many ways, kind of you just want to think of. I mean, it's inevitable what happens in some ways.
Yeah.
But it just feels so absolutely real. You're refreshed that the movie didn't decide to take a really blatantly Hollywood turn.
And it's
it just
also-
does what real
yeah.
people probably would have done.
And it's not a maudlin drama. I mean, it's so busy moving back and forth, giving you these different points of view of these characters that, I mean, you're so busy identifying with everybody that you're not thinking about being depressed. You go from one moment of being, I'm really sad for this guy, but I can tell you the next moment you're thinking like, damn, what would I do if I was Mark Ruffalo? You know?
It's funny you would bring up House of Sand and Fog because that is the movie that I thought of the most. But it's also, Jennifer Connelly's in both of them. And it's almost like Jennifer Connelly has like a thing in her contract where she's like, I will not do a movie with a happy ending. Like even Blood Diamond was like the most Hollywood movie she's done. And the main character dies at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
Hell,
think
look
about
at- what was the movie she did, the drug movie?
Requiem for a
Requiem
Dream.
for a Dream.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
her ending involves her on a table getting backdoored by a dildo.
I was
and
going
a
to say,
bunny.
can you imagine your agent going, this movie you really want to do, it ends up you getting double fucked with another girl with a giant black dong.
Well,
oh, that's
people
all right.
cheer
Yeah.
you on.
Yeah,
It's
she's
all
like,
right because the
I'm
ending
on
is
it.
depressing.
Well, you think about something like A Beautiful Mind, which is the most
Exactly.
Hollywood. It's like, I still got to live with this crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like she has made a conscious decision. I will not do a movie with a happy ending.
I know,
don't
a
care.
Labyrinth where she loses touch with reality completely.
Yeah,
and goes
even Labyrinth.
crazy.
Yeah, she's crazy in Labyrinth. You know?
She totally has a
No,
break
she's
with reality at the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she lost her mind. Or she was on drugs or something. if you wanna look
Something,
at it.
because
Yeah.
when Muppets pop in your bedroom, I'm sorry. It's,
Oh,
guess
that
what?
That's never good.
Hey, that happens to me every night, man. I don't know what's so bad about that. And don't need no drugs for it.
No, you pop Muppets in your bedroom.
As I said, there's no problem there.
Make my puppets come.
It's your hand you're supposed to put inside them, Corey. Your hand.
Tell me something. What's the difference? A real dog, Kermit? I mean, what's the difference?
one way. It's just going to twitch back and forth.
Because I'm not fantasizing about a frog in
Okay,
real life
yo.
when I fuck my real dog.
Okay, look, okay.
Moving right along, you simpanzy. Hey,
boy.
stop that, Corey.
I'm just laughing. I'm like, I want to see how far he's going to take this scenario over here.
Oh, Uncle Corey, that wasn't right.
This is him. He's Jennifer Connelly at the end of Labyrinth.
Meanwhile, Jim Henson's turned into a Van de Graaff generator underground right now, spinning around.
But no, getting back to this movie, man. I even with the complaint that I have, because I do have a complaint.
Give us the complaint.
I think that this guy, it wasn't that the movie was too depressing. I think this guy was just too interconnected with the family of the child that he hit. It was just too much of a coincidence for me. And like I said, some people are not going to pay attention to that. That kind of bothered me. Even with that in there, for performances alone and being able to like have you identify with everybody in this movie as well as they did, I give it full price.
This is one of these things that always bothers you, the coincidences. And this is such a minor coincidence that happens in a small town. It's a movie, you know? I mean, that's part of why we tell these stories instead of the ones that are just about a dude who goes to work and nothing remarkable ever happens to him.
Oh, you mean like your life?
Yeah, exactly. Like my life. There is no movie about my life, and there probably shouldn't be.
Cyrus in real life.
Yeah, that being said, I'm not tempting fate, I swear. I'm just happy with things the way they are. But this is a full price movie for me as well.
Oh, definitely a full price movie for me. And that coincidence you talk about, it's a small town, like every movie we've seen in the last few weeks.
What the hell's going on there?
Definitely full price.
Okay. Well, like I said, if you saw it, I don't think you'd be as depressed as you think you will be, even having seen House of Sand and Fog. And drive safe tonight, okay? Let's go kill some kids.
Woohoo, dead children.
Yeah.